Uncle G, can you hear me, man? Make sure everybody can hear me, man. Uncle G, what's the word? Shout out to anybody just tapping in, though. It's your boy Brazy, man. You feel me? Getting a few things situated for my boy pull up, you know what I mean? For sure, for sure. What's the word, though? What's the word? YouTube. What y'all been on, man? It's been crazy, ain't it? This shit been crazy. I'm already knowing. I'm already knowing. Roll me up some. Get some shit together real quick. We definitely gonna chop it up a little bit, though. I'm waiting on my boy RICO to pull up and come into the building, you know what I'm saying? See what's going on. See what's going on. See what's going on. Shout out to everybody that's pulling up, though. If you're pulling up, man, hit the like. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't subscribe, man. This shit gonna get easy. It's gonna get easy. You feel me? Y'all tap in, man. There's a lot going on. As you can see, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people doing a lot of talk about Teresa Martin. It's a lot of this stuff about this Kanika Jenkins case popping back up, you know what I mean? The mystery. It's always been a mystery to it, huh? Yeah, yeah. Like I told everybody from the jump, this shit been in our face, you know what I'm saying? We just had to dissect it, put it together like a puzzle, you know what I mean? But it's been in our face. A lot of it, you know? A lot of it I still don't believe, you know what I mean? But when it come down to the basics of what, you know what I'm saying, went down as far as KJ, come on, man, we see the shit, man, you know? But one thing I will say is this, you know, Monifa, ain't no way in hell you ain't know what happened, you know? I mean, we just gonna put all the bullshit to the side. Ain't no way in fuck you ain't know what happened to this girl, you know what I mean? Or you didn't know who she was left with, or you don't know you was that drunk or you don't remember. Ain't nobody just gonna vanish in front of you, you know? Even if you would have said, hey, she got mad, she ain't like what I was talking about, she walked off on her own, or anything. You couldn't even say none of that. You just want to make it like, oh, she just disappeared. I turned around and she was gone. Hell no. Hell no, you know? That ain't how that went down. That ain't how that went down. I don't know how you could sleep at night, you know? Maybe because you feel like you ain't the one that actually did it to her. You know, you probably could sleep well at night. But other than that, baby girl, you know, you got an answer to that shit, man. You know, you got an answer to that shit, man. Whether it's now or later, you got an answer to that, man. You know, you know how that shit took place. Flat out, you know. Eventually it's gonna come out. Seem like everything's just popping out here and there. You know what I'm saying? Who would know that we would see Teresa Martin running down the street naked? You know what I'm saying? The girl's mom, you know, all this shit. Who would ever think it would happen like that, you know? That's what happened when you drive a person crazy, man. You know? Years and years of people badgering her, you know what I'm saying? People, you know, taunting and, you know, people saying all this shit. People not looking at the fact that it's a grieving mother, man. You know, what else y'all want from her? You know, what y'all want her to draw blood? What y'all want to see her, you know, take herself out, unalive herself or something? People will be happy then, huh? You know, at the end of the day, don't nobody know what's up except them, except the people that know. You know what I'm saying? Know the real. Other than that, we all just spectators, man. Trying to figure it out, putting our little ad libs on it, you know. But what you say, Uncle G, Bree been quiet since forever. For sure. For sure. You know, been quiet. She couldn't explain why she was just missing throughout the night. You know what I'm saying? You just so happened pop up after everything over with, you know. But more so when it comes to this situation, you know, Monifa, man, like everybody say, if you really, really listen to Irene, you know, and listen to Shemaya, what they said, it all boils down to Monifa being the last person in the hall with her. To come back in the room and say, oh, I don't know where she at. Kanika not in the hall no more. Come on, shorty. I don't know if you think motherfuckers stupid. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. I don't know why they ain't go upside your head. You know what I'm saying? Sister now. But ain't nobody crazy. You know? I don't know if it's something you ashamed to tell or if you feel bad or if you tell what you actually did, it'll get you in trouble or whatever the case may be. You know, only thing you living with is the fact that you know you didn't unalive her. That's it. But you know you sent us to somebody. You know? Whatever the case, whether somebody paid you to leave her, for you to leave her with them, you know what I'm saying? In the condition she was in, or whatever the case may be, something happened. You know? Something happened. It always made me wonder when you went down there to that room on that lower level, when you get off the elevator you check that door. You know what I'm saying? I ain't see nobody else go to that door. But you kind of went and shook that knob a little bit, checked that door, you know. And that's because you felt like, you know, you knew Kanika was in the hands of the hotel. That's the killer part. When you listen to anything Monifa say, I didn't blame it on none of y'all. I didn't blame it on none of y'all. I blamed it on the hotel. Why would you blame it on the hotel, Monifa? Why would you blame it on the hotel? You know? That was my thing. When you stepped back and made the statement, I don't care what none of y'all say. I told her mama everything. Oh, did you? Or did you tell her what you wanted her to know? Did you tell her your part? Did you tell her your part? I don't think you did. I don't think you did, baby. You know. But I'm gonna let some more people get up in here. You know what I mean? Like I say, shout out to everybody in the building. Hey, as you come in, hit that like button, man. It's your boy Brazy. You know what I'm saying? Back better than ever, too. You know, I've been chilling, man. I've been working on my house, been working on a few things, you know what I'm saying? Getting everything in order. Life been great, and I hope it's been great for y'all. Um, hey, you know, I like YouTube, you know, but sometimes YouTube can't be everything for you. You know what I'm saying? You got some people, they dedicate their life to this, you know. I generate money in all type of ways, so I can't dedicate my life to this. And I don't really try to make money off of this either. Never have, you know. I ain't never made no money off of it. Hey, if I do, I do. But, hey, shit, I ain't never tried to make no money off of this. I just do my thing, man. I just do my thing. That's it. But, yeah, been, you know, working on a few houses. Working on my new house that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? A beautiful situation, as always. And yeah, that's where I've been at with it. Kind of sitting back in the background, just watching everything. It's so much that it went on, you know what I'm saying, that go on a daily, you know. Shit, half of the time you can't even keep up with it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, when it came down to this Teresa Martin situation, you know, and all this Kanika stuff popping back up, of course, you know, I gotta put my 2 cents in. Of course, you know, I gotta politic with my people, you know. I like P. Rico. P. Rico, my boy. You know what I'm saying? We got a chance to conversate, get to know each other. You know what I'm saying? We both from the city. Was able to politic, you know, and I just really wanted his insight. See, a lot of people be wondering, oh, why you deal with him or why this and that? My thing is this, you know, a lot of people that talk about this case, you know, we just talking about it. You know, when you talk to people who actually had boots on the ground, you know what I'm saying? P. Rico was actually there at the, you know, protesting. He was actually at the funeral. You know what I'm saying? Actually seeing Kanika in the casket, you know, was right there with her mom. You know what I mean? So, yeah, when you sit back And you look at it, these are the type of people you want to politic with, and pick their brain and see what was on their mind around the time these things was going on, what seemed off, what was being said that didn't sound right. You looking at all these activists, Jenna Dye and all these different people, beefing and arguing about who took money, who took what, this and that. Seemed like to me everybody was out for the grabs, whether it was money, whether it was attention, whether it was trying to get themselves heard, get their face on the screen. All of them was with it, you know? And when it was all said and done, they forgot about, we talking about the life of a female that just, this woman just passed away. You know what I'm saying? Are y'all really fighting, or y'all just want to be seen? And that's what it seemed like, it boiled down to. When you look at Andrew Holmes, a lot of people question why Teresa shut the protest down, because you're dealing with, at least she thought she was dealing with somebody that was positive, that was going to really bring some help, to the situation. Well, all in all, he never did, And I always looked at that, especially later on after this happened with KJ. Y'all seen what happened with Andrew Holmes? The man raped a woman in Vegas, and guess what he turned around and gave the girl? It's a pyramid. Out of all the shit to get somebody, you gave this woman to pyramid. I mean, you laced her drink or whatever you did and gave this woman to pyramid. Andrew Holmes, my question is, how you so big up on the pyramid? Did you learn about it after the Kanika Jenkins case? And you knew, hey, that's what get a woman intoxicated, or, you could do this. Did you learn about it then? Because what's crazy is what happened to this woman, you had her passed out, recording her naked, laid out, after you just did whatever you did with her. Then you bragged about it to a police officer friend who you thought was your friend, and was showing him her as she was laid out. All this is on video. And you gave her to pyramid, to knockout, Make me wonder, when all this came about with Kanika, was that your bright idea to say that she had to pyramid in her system? Or give them the idea to slip it in her system so it could come up in the toxicology or anything? I mean, make me understand. What was the pyramid came about, and you're still dealing with it years later. Raping women. Because that woman that you gave that to, you raped her. And when she called the police, when she tried to go ahead and get the man arrested and take the man to court, they threw it out. You feel me? She couldn't even prove that she was raped, but she knew her body didn't feel right. I guess when they said that when you got the pyramid in your system mixed with a little alcohol, it relaxes you so much you can't put up a fight. So it wouldn't show no signs of rape, like it was a struggle or forced entry. You was relaxed. Is that what happened with KJ? You know what I'm saying? Is that why no signs of rape showed up? She was too relaxed off the pyramid, had her body weak, she couldn't put up a fight. Make me understand, my guy. So these are the things that I wonder about, when it come down to this case. There was a lot of people paid off. It was a lot of scandalous shit going on, and the mama believed into this man, and they stopped that protest, thinking that he was guiding her the right way, and all along he wasn't. So let's think about it, man. Teresa got played on so many levels. Talk to a woman, money probably wasn't the greatest in their household, and she get offered all this money. Now, my question to the people that's listening, do you think she was wrong for taking this money? Or do you think she did the right thing? Now, of course, I don't want to take no money without knowing what happened to my kid or get some type of justice. Y'all, let's look at it. She took this money where they won it in a lawsuit, but didn't nobody go to jail for what happened to Kanika. We know that shit eat her up, man. As much as you enjoy the money, when you sit back alone and you think to yourself about how you came across this money and this, and you think about the fact that when you look at YouTube or you hear about all these stories, people got all these mysteries and shit about your daughter, this bothered this woman, man. That shit eat that woman up. Then don't make it no better. YouTube as a community, Facebook as a community, you know, all these different social sites is tearing our ass up left and right. Left and right, left and right. This been going on for years. Left and right, left and right, left and right. So, you know, you could drive somebody crazy, man. People try to sit back and say, "Oh, that don't mean nothing. This is just social media. Nobody care what nobody say." Yeah, when you got shit 1 million people, foreigners and all, you know what I'm saying, sitting back getting down on you, saying you killed your daughter and this and this and that, you know, of course. You know, that shit take a toll, man. That shit take a toll. So, and I ain't here trying to do no defending. I'm just here speaking about what's real, you know. We can't talk about nobody unless we're in their shoes, man. We don't know what it's like to be in their shoes, you know. But I see a few people coming in, you know what I'm saying? What I got, about 6 people in here? Yeah, we're going to let this crowd get a little bigger, man. About 6 people in here, you feel me? What I got, 3 likes? Get them likes up, man. What we doing? Let me get some more likes, man. I need as many likes as, goddamn it, I got people in here. If it's 6 people in here, let me get 6 likes. What's going on, man? This is Sunday night. We just talking some shit. It's Brazy After Dark, man. Did the conversation Monifa had with Lamont ever come out? I think the conversation came out, but Lamont defended her when P. Rico was sitting back saying that she wasn't right. You know, Lamont was defending her to the, you know, he kept saying they got locked up together. She told him everything, this and this. But like P. Rico was explaining, yeah, she, you know, she told him this and that. But at the end of the day, tell it to somebody who see through that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And you got certain people that ain't finna sit up here and look at you boo-hooing and crying and all this, but still not making sense. And that's what it was turning out to be. She wasn't making no sense, man. That girl wasn't making no sense of what she was saying. None of that shit make sense. How she tried to explain the Kanika situation, all that shit. None of that make no sense, man. For real. And the damn show didn't make no sense to us. Oh, she was out there, dear. She wasn't behind me no more. Well, you know, I don't know what Kanika went. Kanika disappeared. Come on now. Then what Irene say? You came into the party and chilled for some hours. So after you, let's just say this, after you got paid to leave her, you came up in the party and kicked it for a little while longer. In the midst of you hanging out and kicking it, guess what she going through? Trying to find her way. Because that shit just kicking in and kicking in. You know what I'm saying? If Kanika had a pyramid in her system, you know what I truly think? Around that time in 2017, that was the beginning of making fake pills, and everybody had press machines where they could make fake X pills and all this shit. That was the introduction around that time to Xannies and all this different shit you see people on now, perks and all that. I'm pretty sure Kanika had a fake ass pill. You know what I mean? If you look at the effects that the pill give you, and people are already knowing if somebody pop a pill, they're gonna drink afterwards. They're gonna drink at the same time. Ain't nobody just gonna pop a pill and don't smoke weed and drink. So a person that's selling pills already know, if I get this pill right here and disguise it as an X pill, once they get to drinking, oh, they're going to feel the effects anyway, because they're going to feel like shit, they off some X, they off something that got them very high. And I believe Kanika popped a fake X pill that night, willingly. You know what I'm saying? When you hear different party goers, people saying they was popping pills, they was drinking. You know, people didn't want to put that on KJ. You know, they wanted to sit back and say, oh, no, she was just drinking like this. Nah, Kanika popped her ass a pill and was in there trying to enjoy herself and sipping. And instead of it being a real X pill, it was some bullshit disguised as an X pill. Now we know it was to pyramid. You know what I'm saying? It was the pyramid. For real. Now we know. I definitely want to shout out a lot of the YouTubers that's popping back out. You feel me? I definitely respect it, man. Leave no witness, man. Hey, hey. One thing you can't do is just take it away from people, man. Some people just got a lot of shit, and leave no witness one of them people. You feel me? You might, he might not be on point with everything, but one thing that boy had was all that goddamn footage. He had them case files, you know? And that's what it was. That's why to this day, he can sit back and dissect videos and, whether he right or wrong, he got them all. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I see that boy straight dropped and popped back out of nowhere. I like that. I like that. See these different people popping out, you know? Still some good YouTubers out here, man. I don't take nothing away from nobody, but at the end of the day, you got some people out here that was really, politicking on this shit, man. That was really politicking on it. My question is, we ain't heard from Teresa since all this happened. Now, we did see an ambulance, following her towards the end of the little live. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a lot of different parts because he had some different people that was recording it. So they was uploading what they had. You got some parts her dancing in the street. You got some parts her just walking, you know what I'm saying? Cussing people out, saying all type of stuff. But it was an ambulance following her, doing one of them lives. So now that, of course, she got to be either, they'd have to either put her in some type of facility or something right now to calm her down. So ain't no telling what this woman going through. We see how she was on social media acting a fool. So imagine her in there fighting them people, you know what I'm saying, while they trying to restrain her, to calm her down, possibly injecting her with something, anything. This right here was the biggest no-no, and I hate that she going out like this because if we didn't believe her about people trying to shut her up, it could happen now. It could happen now. That woman could come back and be a whole vegetable. Ain't no telling. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling. Ain't no telling. I don't know if you got some people that just want to see something like that or whatever. But I don't be wishing shit on nobody, man. You don't wish shit on your enemy like that or whatever the case may be. For real. What's the word? What's the word? Let me see. Let me send my boy the link, man. Hold on, Rico. All right. I had to send my partner the link, man. But yeah. What you say, dear Monifa? Yeah, Uncle G. I don't know what's going on. But I definitely want to politic on it. You know what I'm saying? See what's the word. I probably should have went through StreamYard. StreamYard, open this shit up a little more. Let me see if it'll let my boy come up here. But yeah, you know, we know something going on because shit, she was posting every day. You know what I'm saying? So to sit back and we don't see the posting and all that right now, yeah, we know, you know what I'm saying, something going on. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, hell, for her to be outside walking around ass naked like that in 6 below weather, you know, I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying, something going on. They'd have had to sedate her or something. For real. I'm just hoping this ain't how it end for her. You know what I'm saying? You done already took a loss of your daughter, and that was tragic. You know, I ain't saying this woman was the best parent. Shit, ain't nobody parent the best. You know, I can't sit back and say she didn't love her daughter because I'm not no psychic. You know, so I'm not gonna say that. But what I will say is, don't nobody deserve to lose their child in the fashion that she lost her, and don't nobody deserve to have to be ridiculed and bashed. You know what I'm saying? Because the public don't know exactly what happened. And the only thing they could do is sit back and say, she did it. She did it, you know? The woman won a lawsuit, and the first thing they saying is she set her daughter up. If that ain't the saddest shit, I don't know what is. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, as YouTubers and the Kaniga Jenkins community, we was pissed off. You know what I'm saying? Of course. Damn. You know, shit, we fought hard too. We wanted answers. So to know the answer you got, the answer you accepted was what it was. You know, hell yeah, it pissed us off. You know, but we're not them. We're not her. So, hey, that was a decision that she made at the time. And, you know, that's something that that woman got to live with. I think that beat her up enough in life. That eated her enough. Shit, ain't no amount of money. When you get your BBLs, you get your body done, you can do all that. When you sit back and you close your eyes and you in that bed at night, and you sitting here thinking, especially if you're getting drunk and you in your thoughts and your feelings, that bothers you. Holidays, it's around holiday time. You got to look up and Kanika ain't here, laughing, smiling, talking, saying stuff. Christmas come around, New Year's come around, birthdays come around. Come on, man. She got to live with that, man. That woman got to live with that. So, shit is crazy. What's y'all thoughts on it, though, man? What was y'all thoughts when y'all first, man, looked on social media and seen it? You know what I'm saying? Especially for people that's been on this case, you know, who know about all this shit. What did y'all think, man? First thing came to mind when y'all saw Teresa running down the street naked, man. I I thought it was AI. I ain't gonna even lie. I said, oh, this some AI shit right here. I done had to look at it. But see, by me being in the city, you know what I'm saying? You know, everybody kind of know everybody. So when shit get to floating around Facebook, I was seeing people that was actually going live, recording it live. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh no, this shit real. This ain't AI. She outside for real. It just tripped me out because I thought she would have been on the west side. She was on the south side doing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, God damn, you a west sider. What you doing all the way out south doing this? So that kind of threw me off a little bit. Shit. Shit crazy, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if she moved out there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. I'll tell you what I did do though. I did inbox her. You know what I'm saying? I told her I'm praying for her. And I pray that she get through this. You know what I'm saying? You know, I pray she get through this because I spoke with Teresa before. You know what I mean? In the middle of this case, when everybody beefing, everybody got so many different narratives and everybody doing all this talking. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take the initiative to reach out to this woman. Whether she hit me back or not, or whatever the case may be, shit, she human. She from the same side of town as me. You know what I'm saying? We from the same city. You know what I'm saying? The most I could do is hit this woman up, you know, be respectful and just let her know that I want to politic on your daughter with your blessings. You know what I'm saying? I want to speak about this case with your blessings, just in case she ever in the bushes watching or whatever the case may be. So a lot of people that know me try to sit back and say, oh, you always protected Teresa. No, I'm just respectful, you know? I'm respectful. And a lot of times we did politic. I even got messages, and I'm looking at what she's saying. I'm reading what she's saying. She was coming off as real spiritual. You know what I mean? Everything behind what she was saying was God this, and if God is willing, and blah blah blah. But when I got to showing her the details within her daughter case file and some of the stuff that I was recognizing, it was kind of shocking her. Now it shocked me because I'm like, damn, this your daughter. You should have a case file, at least I would think. And you seeing all this stuff. But me just pointing out certain things that was lining up to what she was talking about, that a lot of things like even when you come through Shondell Lane and the chairs are stacked up on that lower level, that's after she walked back through the double doors on the lower level. Remind you, she was in the hallway at first. Did the little turnaround, went to the bathroom, did all that. Now, true, I believe somebody was with her, or somebody was guiding her, or somebody was following her. But she went back through the double doors. When some double doors open up, that's Shondell Lane. You got a stack of chairs sitting to the right side of you. Above them stack of chairs is a camera that's aiming directly down at the door to show you who's going in and who's coming out. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, that camera didn't work. Come on, man. The cameras that's supposed to work, you know what I'm saying, that would have caught the shit it's supposed to caught, those are the cameras that they said didn't work. So when I circled that camera out and I pointed it out to her, like, Teresa, how they ain't see your baby, man? How they ain't see who was with her? You know what I mean? When she opened up these doors and came back through these doors, everything right there in Shondell Lane would have showed, whether she would have kept walking straight, if she would have made a right turn, you know what I'm saying? If somebody was with her. So, whatever the case may be, who was behind them doors, it would have showed it. And she was just like, damn, She like, damn, you right, and so like I said, it was genuine conversation. I'm gonna give it all to y'all, but it was enough where I felt a little satisfied and we were able to, conversate a little more here and there. So that's what I got from Teresa Martin, I didn't get just the spazzing out crazy, talking in tongue and, cussing and drunk. I didn't get that. She did that on her spare time. But when I got that, when I talked to her, like I said, I just wanted her blessings, to even speak and shit and do the shit that I'm trying to do. That was it. So that was my experience with Teresa Martin. For real. I'm trying to see what's going on. I don't know if he trying to get up here on a platform or what. I don't know, y'all. I might have to turn around and take this to StreamYard. I'm trying to see now what we doing. I'm thinking when he pop up, the link just gonna pop up and I can add him in. Let me see. Let me see what's going on. What's going on? Yeah, I'm hoping I ain't got to end it to add him. I don't know. I got to see what's up, though. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, it's just, like I say, real crazy situation. Real crazy situation. Um, it's just, it bothers me when I sit, when I really sit back and I think about it, like, Monifa, who you leave that girl with, man? Did the motherfucker pay you? I believe he did, because you wouldn't have left her. I believe whatever you got offered and you took at that moment, you feel me, was decent enough for you to sit back and say, you know what? Me and her just got back cool. I know I fuck with people she don't fuck with. You know, you probably wasn't even really feeling Kanika like that. You know what I'm saying? Once she got around the so-called friends that you didn't like. Because remind you, you came to the party, Monifa. So-called you wasn't invited, but you came. Automatically, they praising Kanika because those her girls. But Irene's sister don't like you. You feel me? She don't like you. You know why she don't like you? Because your best friend got a baby with, is it her boyfriend? So you and her don't really bump heavily, you know? So they already looking at you funny, making their little side jokes. Y'all know how females is. Monifa that came into the party with this last ponytail. You know what I'm saying? Her and Shamaya cute. Bree fair. Monifa in here with this little ass ponytail. You know what I'm saying? Kanika probably in there, y'all be nice, be nice. That's my friend. You know, Monifa ain't trying to have none of that. She ain't feeling that. Oh, bitch, you in here acting funny with, you in here acting funny? You know what I'm saying? You acting funny with me around these hoes? You know, that's how I look at it. That's how Monifa, that's, you know, man, that's how I look at it. It seemed like her attitude is more so like that. One thing we did find out, Irene was the one who worked at the hotel. Yeah, that's why she was so upset. Talking about she can't work in Chicago no more and this and this. That's why she was pissed off, because you actually worked at the hotel, man. And you were mad about all this shit. So whether you knew a little bit or knew a lot, you did work there. Yeah, yeah. When it come to old Monifa, man, you know, you left that girl, man. Clearly. So as y'all can see, I dropped a video, you know. And when you look at the video, you see Kanika getting off the elevator at 224. You see a guy getting off the elevator at 225, right? I truly believe this guy was the one that was in the hallway. I believe he possibly made a proposition towards Monifa. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, should I give you such and such? You know what I'm saying? You let her come with me type shit. And y'all, it sound crazy. It sound funny. But man, you just don't know what a couple dollars will do to a motherfucker that ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. That friend shit, hey, that friend should be out the door. And that show you everybody ain't your friend. Everybody ain't your partner. I don't give a fuck how much y'all done grew up with each other, played in the sandbox. You got people that grew up with you and envy you at the same time, man. You know? But still hang with you though. Cause you got the clout that come around. You know what I'm saying? You the person everybody want to be next to. So that same motherfucker that hates you, you know what I'm saying, they can't stand your ass, you know? But sit back and, yeah, boo, yeah, girl, blah, blah, blah. Be the same motherfucker hanging with your ops. You know, the minute y'all get into it, the real shit come out, you hearing certain shit. And that's how I believe Monifa was, you know? She was still hanging with Mariah, which was Kanika op, because of RICO. You know what I'm saying? To this day, Monifa still hanging with Mariah. Not saying Mariah did anything. I'm just saying, you know, that's real. If you my homie and you hanging with a motherfucker that I don't rock with, then what's really good? I can't even sit back and trust the shit that I talk to you. I can't even have you in my comfort zone because you gonna leave me and tell my op about what we doing. If you want to, or if you mad about me, you gonna tell my op about my personals because you supposed to be my rappy. So that's the role Monifa was playing. You know what I'm saying? You hanging with her ops and shit, you know, but Kanika's still trying to play it fair. Like, we could be friends, you know, considering the fact that y'all did grow up with each other. But that's what we fail at when we good-hearted people. You know what I'm saying? We keep having faith in motherfuckers that don't mean us no good. You know what I mean? And that's what I think it was, her having faith in them. You notice Kanika didn't come up missing until she got left alone with Monifa. When Shamaya stepped in that hallway, Kanika was still there. Shamaya right there, blah, blah, blah. The minute everybody was out of sight, out of mind, come on, bro. You can't never sit back and say, it make you feel like, was this shit planned? You know what I'm saying? Was this something ahead of time? But no, this was just on some spare of the moment. They don't want to leave. Kanika ready to leave. She's spoiling their fun. They don't want to leave. Monifa trying to get chose. Shamaya trying to get chose. Too many niggas popping up. Now it had turned from Monifa talking to Kanika to now they probably having some little words, or she probably felt like, man, bitch, you gonna stay. Hey, hey, look, left her with a motherfucker to buy you enough time to keep chilling with what you was trying to do. Not thinking that it was something bad that was gonna happen. You ain't even thinking none of that. That's why I say, did you accept some money? Or did you just let her go about her way? You know what I'm saying? However it went, you can't never say that you didn't know that that guy was with your friend. That's why I exposed that shit. That's why I made the video. You say, was he the one on the 11th floor? At this point, I don't even know, G. I don't know if that elevator opened up and he was already on the elevator. I don't even know. I just know ain't nowhere in hell Kanika get off the elevator at 224 and this man get off exactly behind her at 225. You know what I'm saying? The elevator didn't have time to go up to another floor. It would have been 225 when it popped open and he came off. Now, if it was 226, 227, I would have understood it. Like, damn, the elevator closed after Kanika got off and it went back up, picked somebody else up, and they came down there. What's the coincidence, my nigga? The girl get off the elevator at 224. He pop off at 225, look down the hallway towards her, got back on the elevator, go upstairs, go to the desk, the front desk, holler at them, and then proceed the way she went towards that way. That's why on the video I showed him coming through that little lobby area when old boy was cleaning up. He just walking, heading towards the back with them kitchens and all that. Swear to God, bro. See, we probably just looking at him like, oh, he got on a shirt and some shorts or whatever the case may be. We not looking at the fact that this man probably the richest motherfucker in the building. He probably that comfortable because this his shit. Or he just in tune with the hotel, or he got some type of business with the hotel. The hotel used to have people, the hotel got people that live there. You know what I'm saying? They got people that come get rooms there. You know, so at the end of the day, quit playing. Whoever he was, we saw him went right up to that front desk and was able to let them know something, which who was at the front desk? Gray blazer and security guard. He was able to go up there and politic with them about something. And then head back down the hall towards that way. What we see after that? We see France run downstairs, security guard. He already knew because the old boy just went up there and told him something. So, like I say, man, a lot of this shit, man, a lot of this shit crazy, but it wouldn't have ever kicked off like this if Monifa wouldn't have left her in the hands of somebody else. You left that girl. On everything. I was reading something that said, and this was from her case, it was saying something about the second floor of the hotel also. So it's a lot of shit we don't even know about. Hey, think about it. When Teresa made that post on Facebook and said, my daughter made it through the back door, that right there alone, I'm like, hold on. The back door that we see is the dock area, right? It's on the same level as that kitchen that she so-called walked in, right? The dock area is on that same level. If you leave out of that kitchen through them wooden doors and keep walking straight through the other open doors, it's gonna be, that's the dock area. That's the back. That's the little entrance. That's the dock area. When you look at the dock area and the doors open up right there, it's like a picnic table, a wooden picnic table. You can sit down. It's like a smoke area, and the dock is right there. You know, if anybody know about the docks, that's where the truck bag itself up to, and it unload everything off the truck. They bring it in on the dolly and wheel it into the kitchens or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So they could store it in the freezers. You know, all they produce. So if Kanika Mama saying, well, basically, she's exposing what was possibly brought up in the courtroom. You know what I mean? Because we never knew about no shit like that. All we thought was, I mean, of course, we said, I bet Kanika made it out that kitchen. Why did they stop the video at the 10-minute mark? If they would have let it kept going to 11 minutes, we would have seen what happened after she walked back there. But they instantly stopped it as soon as she went back there at the 10-minute mark. When we sit back and we look at that, well, of course I did. I said Kanika made it from back there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why we ain't getting that video. You know what I'm saying? Searching through all these videos, Kanika made it from back there. And that was it. So for years later, for Teresa to turn around and say, my daughter made it out the back door. Of course we know she did. And she was brought back in and laid in that freezer. When you sit back and you look at the stuff that was in her hair, the stuff that was stuck to her clothes and her skin, her shoes, you know what I'm saying? All of that consists of, even the little red chips of paint that was coming off the wall back there in the dock area towards the floor, the lower of the wall panel. You seen all the paint chipping. You know what I'm saying? That stuff, you know, gathers up on the floor. It's dusty and dirty back there. When you sat back and you seen all that stuff on her, just little specks of it all over her, in her hair, on her skin, on her clothes, I said, that's where she was at. So it was consistent with what Teresa said. My daughter made it out that back door. Kanika made it out that back door, and they brought her back in. Whatever happened, whatever fight she put up, which wasn't really a good fight because she was already messed up, but whatever fight she tried to put up, Kanika looked like she was choked out, man. She was choked out, or they put a zip tie around her neck. Her hand was consistent of someone that was being choked, and she was trying to grab or hold somebody's wrist or hold somebody's hand and had their hand around her neck. That's why when you seen her on the gurney, the blanket was pulled all the way up to her chin. You know? I don't know if they ain't want to show the bruising on the neck or whatever, but the shit was pulled all the way up to her chin. And we seen on the video, Teresa didn't walk all the way up on the body, you know? But autopsy, it would have said if she was strangled. It would have said if, you know, so like I say, it was a lot of bullshit with this case, man. But when that woman said her daughter made it out that back door, that right there confirmed to me that Kanika was able to get out that back door and she was brought back in. Now, why would you bring somebody back in a hotel? You brought somebody back in a hotel because whatever that took place with her already. All the way down to her being on that lower level walking and went into that bathroom. Ain't no telling how many of y'all, from the looks of it, it seemed like 2 of them went into the bathroom on her. You know? Shit. She couldn't leave that hotel and tell what y'all tried to do. That's just it. And if it was money involved, to the point where somebody gave somebody some money, one of her friends, she definitely wasn't leaving that hotel. You know? To tell her story. They weren't going to let that happen, as you can see. So, yeah, this shit was a lot. Shit was a lot, man. Let me see what's going on, my boy, real quick. Y'all, I'm in the building, man. It's your boy Brazy in the building, man. Y'all know what's going on. Damn, it's 5 people in here. Y'all in the bushes. Y'all can't say what's up. What's going on? I know it ain't Uncle G. He ain't all 5. What's up, man? Y'all can't speak. How rude. What's the word? What's the word? Oh, hell yeah. You know what's so crazy? You notice that night we only seen France Cave doing security. That ain't strange. It was 2 security guards that night. You see what I'm saying? But they only put France Cave in our face. They exposed France Cave heavily. Zach talked about the second security guard. Now we're hearing about a second security guard. You know what I'm saying? Um, let's make it make sense. And y'all know what's crazy? The security guard who actually worked that night, he it's pictures of him. He looked younger than France Cave. He got a smaller face. You know what I'm saying? Low haircut, all that shit. Look like he a little younger. Tall guy. It's a security guard. See, that's why I say, whoever that dude that got off the elevator behind Kanika, he had to have some type of connection with this hotel because he instantly went to the front desk and politic with them. You know what I'm saying? He went to the front desk, he politic with the hotel, and then he went on about his way towards the back where she was going to end up at anyway. So that's what make me look at it like, damn. You know what I'm saying? It go from I'm ready to leave this party feeling uncomfortable, but you with people that don't want to leave. They still want to sit back and party. We ain't even been here that long. You ready to go. They thought they was spending the night at the hotel. Remember this. The plan was to stay at the hotel all night. Kanika ready to go, not even an hour later. They ain't ready to go. They turned up, they party, and they lit. Monifa done got a little musty, she sweating. Shit, Shamaya, she over there sweating. Shit, Irene hair falling. Shit, they didn't party, dance, they kicking it. Kanika ready to go. She spoiling they fun. Especially Monifa. You spoiling they fun. That's crazy. That's crazy. So when you sit back and you look at 3 suspects, you know, we got motherfuckers that was Kanika walked through a kitchen and did a whole did a whole shit, walked through one door, came through the kitchen, swung around the other kitchen and walked back out through the kitchen. And we see her on both cameras. And it's a nigga down there. She looked right at the nigga, walked past, looked at him and kept walking. For her to end back up in them kitchens. And these dudes right here, they they ain't just walk past her. You know what I'm saying? They ain't just walk right past her. So yeah, you got the guy that Monifa, who I feel like she left her with, that's walking on the go through the hotel trying to find her. You got him going to the front desk telling security. So now you got France on point. And then she done already made her way down here where the guy's cleaning up at. You know what I'm saying? On the lower level. Boy with the red shirt that's mopping the kitchen. The guy with the gray shirt, the Mexican boy with the gray shirt that had the sweeper on his back. They're all down there. You feel me? France Cave made his way on down there. Man, look. But we don't see the second security guard. None at all. But he worked that night. It wasn't just France that was doing security. So we got to look at a lot of shit that they didn't put in our face. You know what I'm saying? We got to look at a lot of shit. With Irene working there, what was she scared of? Or what did she know about? That bothers me. Because when, if anybody remember in the midst of this case, Monifa sent Irene something. And Irene said, "Ooh, bitch, now you gotta tell it. Now you gotta tell it. Now you gotta fess up." She sent her a video. And in the video, if we can all remember, it was somebody walking through a kitchen. They was walking through that kitchen. We seen the floors. They was walking on that lower level, looked like the basement, whatever they was at. So why this never came up again? Monifa sent Irene a video in the midst of this, and Irene said, "Now you gotta tell what happened." This never came up again. So you got Irene and Monifa really don't like each other. We see them beefing on social media. But why? Because, bitch, you just pulled a stunt at my job. You feel me? Even though I ain't got nothing to do with it, I still got something to do with it. You just pulled some bullshit at my job with our homie. So it's something them two know. It ain't so much as Bree and Shamaya, which they probably caught on, but it's something that Monifa and Irene know. That's why they got the instantly clicking. You feel me? Instantly they got the bopping with each other. Bitch, hey, already Irene said, "I ain't even invite you, but you came anyway. So you just gonna fuck everything up. You gonna pull some whole ass shit at my job." And even though I ain't for none of it, even though I ain't had nothing to do with it, you just put me in the midst of it. That's why Irene fucked up at. You should have told that shit because you lost your job anyway. You should have told that shit. But why tell it now? For everybody to be like, so you knew. So you knew. Like I say, in Ty's party, somebody was talking about the freezer, about somebody they playing a game with each other about the freezer. You hear that in Ty's party when the girl's coming out the bathroom. It sound like Monifa talking about the freezer. I ain't gonna lie. Which, why would she have knowledge of a freezer here at this hotel? This is a fact. Like I say, y'all pay attention to the dynamics. Monifa and Irene got the beefing automatically. Irene, you work at the hotel. Monifa, you just pulled some bullshit at my job with our friend. Talking about you can't find her. All of it for it to turn around and be like, she in the freezer dead. Yeah. Yeah, it was some bullshit. This is what we got to pay attention to. This ain't no situation where Teresa set up her daughter to be killed or she had knowledge of her daughter finna be killed. I don't think they was on the best terms because you got a daughter that smell herself. Kanika have been pregnant before. Kanika had her own crib. Kanika had a job. Kanika had a car. You know what I'm saying? Kanika doing her own little motherfucking thing. So at the end of the day, y'all not seeing eye to eye. You know, was Teresa right? How she was trying to possibly, dictate how Kanika was moving? Or was Kanika looking at her mama like you crazy as hell? You be tweaking, mama, from the shit that we see now. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't see eye to eye. I don't know if they saw eye to eye that night, but Kanika was able to get her mama a vehicle. So maybe they wasn't on the worst terms. You know what I'm saying? But it was always a situation where watch these people that you with. I don't trust, you know what I'm saying, you with these people when they bad news. That's what she felt like. She couldn't stand RICO at all. Why? Because RICO introduced her to these people. You know what I'm saying? RICO introduced her to these people. You hear the boys in Zach interview, what they say. Oh, that's our guy girl. We met her through our guy. You know what I'm saying? RICO introduced you to a lot of shit. Probably the pill popping, the kicking it, you know what I'm saying? The ripping and running all night, hotels and shit. You know what I'm saying? RICO introduced you to the shit. I know what it's like, bro. I'm from the city of Chicago. I got a little sister, man. I know what it's like, man. Remember my sister first got pregnant. Remember her boyfriends. I remember situations where, you know what I'm saying, shit, we iffy about these little niggas. Sis, why you over here with the ops? You know what I'm saying? Because she liking on him. Shit that we had to, man, just sit back and deal with, you know? So I know what it's like. You know, Kanika wasn't listening to her mama. They weren't on the best terms. She'd probably pour more into Lenora because that was her sister, and Lenora moving, kind of how Kanika moving. She's just a little bit older. But her and her mama wasn't always on the best. But she let her get her vehicle that night. You know? Look how God worked. Ain't that crazy? What if they wasn't on the best of terms and they weren't even fucking with each other, period? And she didn't know how Kanika was moving. I had no knowledge and would have just got a call. You know what I'm saying? But look how it directly involved her. You gave her your vehicle that night. You know what I'm saying? You seen your daughter that night. You know, y'all probably wasn't on the best terms, but y'all was cool and y'all was able to politic and take the car. You know what I'm saying? Bring it back. Don't let nobody else don't let nobody get my car, girl. Mama, I ain't gonna let nobody drive your whip. You already know I ain't finna do that. We finna go kick it. I'm finna come right back. Who you going with? Who she leave the house with? Monifa. Because you heard what Teresa said. The person that left the house with her is the person who sat back and was passing her the drinks. The person that left the house with her was the person that sat back and said, why you call her mama? Why y'all calling her mama? So, come on, man. Pay attention to how this shit go. A woman ain't had nothing to do with it. But when it come down to the two people who this boiled down to, the two people who they put on broadcast the most throughout these years, even when it first happened, God don't miss, man. He put the light on Monifa. He put the light on Irene. Shined it hard on them. Kind of left Bree and Shemaya in the shade, but shining hard on them two. From the glasses till Monifa turned around and she ended up missing. And we wonder why y'all ass beefing with each other. Both of y'all know what the fuck going on. Both of y'all know what's going on. That's why after this shit happened with Kanika, everybody just separated. Don't nobody want to hang with each other. You know what I'm saying? Should have told that shit. Irene, even though you possibly ain't do nothing, you should have told that shit. And like I say, still to this day, Monifa, you sent Irene a video. You feel me? Irene say, ooh, now you gotta tell what happened. What that video was about. How that video come about. Why you gotta tell people what happened. What's on that video. Or if that video get exposed, will both of y'all get in trouble? What's going on? Who really had access to downstairs? Who was able to put the call in and say, open that up? Or they was lenient enough to do it for you? You know what I'm saying? Is this really why they accepted the fact that y'all was partying like this in this motherfucker? Because you worked there, Irene? This is why you had to pop your head out the door and talk to security and talk to them? Because it was your party and you actually work here? So everything cool? That's why they was being lenient? That's why they was being lenient, huh? Because one of their co-workers was having a party and all they girls and buddies was coming in there. That's why they was being lenient with y'all. Make it make sense. Make that shit make sense. Yeah, man, I'm just here to talk my shit a little bit, man. I don't know what's up with my partner, man. He supposed to showed up. You know, I get on here and talk my shit till the sun come up. I don't know what's going on. Uncle G, I see you still in here rocking out, man. Who all in the building though? Like I said, we got 7 in here. Who in the building with me, man? Unless you in the bushes and you don't want nobody to know you. Hey, you ain't popping out. If you ain't in no bushes, man. Hey, what's the word? Say hi. You know what I'm saying? Well, shit. What's your thoughts on this case? You know what I'm saying? What's your thoughts on Teresa's situation? You know what I'm saying? How she crashing? You know, what's your thoughts on it? Why ain't nobody spoke out? You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna speak out. Cause you would think, I think Kenny locked up. I think Kenny locked up or something. He in some type of institution because he's crazy. I'm not gonna, I ain't even know what nothing to call it. Crazy, you know. I take it that Lenora living life. She looking good. You know what I'm saying? She living life. You know, and shit. Maybe she just tired of the shit with her mama. You know, maybe she tired of the shit. You know, man. Look, if I could ask one question to Lenora, because I went back and forth with her one time on Facebook, but I pissed off and I think she blocked me. I don't know if you blocked me, Lenore, if you're listening, but when I sent you that video that I made, I don't know if that pissed you off, you know what I'm saying? But you kind of think you put me on silent or some shit, you know? But let me ask this. When you did that interview on the news and that lady read that you received a phone call from Kanika or a message at like 1:30 something in the morning. And this came up more than once. And then you finally said you did it. But it's saying that you did, you know, because she called somebody. It's saying it was you. But you saying you didn't. Did you miss the call? Did you ignore the call? Or did you actually get the call? Or did you get the text message? You know? Honestly. This is what shit. It ain't like I'm bringing up something don't nobody know about. This shit was in our face. I just want to know, you know what I'm saying? Did your sister hit you up, bro? You know? I can understand if you missed that call, if you was asleep, you know what I'm saying? Or if you ain't hit a phone, you know, whatever the case may be. But to say, no, you didn't. And even in the paperwork, it say you did. Even in the case file, it say you did. Like, what the fuck was that about? You know? Because the only people other than Monifa, you know, it was you doing their hair. You did Kanika hair. Kanika got dressed at your crib. You put that little shit in Monifa hair. You know, I'm pretty sure y'all talking, sipping, everybody over there laughing, kicking it. You know, they getting ready. You know, a lot of talk going on, you know. What was the mood like at your house before they left? You know? You never spoke about that. Not saying you have to, you know, but what was that mood like, you know? Now that you know that Monifa, her last story is that and you know, like I say, I'm gonna tell y'all this too. It tripped me out when Monifa sat back and said, I ain't gotta tell y'all shit. I told her mama and them what happened. You feel me? And me coming from the city of Chicago, when something like this happened and some bogus shit going on, people are gonna stump your fucking ears together. Kanika knew too many people and had too many family members, females, cousins, aunties, friends, cousins that got friends. They would have stumped a mud hole in these girls' ass. You feel me? The whole neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? If motherfucker feel like you that foul. So my thing is, did she possibly tell them what was going on? And if what was going on well, and if it was some foul shit, let's just say Monifa didn't leave Kanika, you know what I'm saying, with no nigga. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, shit. Monifa held the bread while Kanika went and did woo woo. Kanika like, hold this, I'm fucked up, girl, I'll be right back. You know what I'm saying? Monifa left it to be and didn't want to tell what her friend actions was. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to shame her. Don't want to let nobody know this what y'all was on. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, you know. that's why I felt like, you know, why would you want to seal a case? You know, why did you accept this so well? Like, did you understand that your daughter's possibly, you know, shit, making a deal and that shit went wrong? Is this why y'all can't whoop Monifa? Because if you whoop her, she gonna tell the real. Y'all want to fight me, but shit, you know, just like I know, I told y'all, Kanika was selling some ass. You feel me? She dipped off with that motherfucker. Yeah, I ain't finna watch her and do her act. You know what I'm saying? But I knew woo woo. I thought they was going downstairs to the little woo woo room. You know, is that the situation? You know what I'm saying? Is this what y'all humbled y'all self and kept this shit on the hush? You know what I'm saying? This why y'all ain't whoop Monifa ass for giving y'all this bogus ass story talking about Kanika just disappeared? Cause I know you tell my people, you tell me my sister just disappeared and that story sounded off. Man, we tapping them ears, man. You gonna get your ass beat every day until you tell what happened. But that didn't happen, and that surprised me. It really did. It really did. Made me feel like, damn, did Monifa tell him? You know, what was going on? Why certain shit was hid from us? You know? And Kanika had to been with somebody, and they knew because Kanika had a text message, and they was saying, I bet his dick little. Why she was missing, so-called missing. Make it make sense. How the fuck they texting you talking about something I bet a motherfucker dick little, but y'all don't know she with somebody? Who she with then? Who she was with for y'all to say that this, who was she with? She say, let me be a hoe in peace. What are we hiding? What y'all hiding, man? This is within the case file. This is the text messages from the phone. I bet his dick little. Let me be a hoe in peace. Y'all trying to kill my vibe. So, okay, Kanika said, let me be a hoe in peace. Y'all telling her I bet his dick little. Who the fuck is she with? See, it's sad when people don't want their name to go out bad or sad with a situation like this. Y'all didn't want to go down with y'all names being labeled as y'all was being some hoes trying to sell pussy. Was that what it was? No disrespect. But was that what it was? That ain't how y'all wanted y'all name to, that ain't how y'all ain't want the clout to look like that throughout Chicago? People getting down on you like that? Teresa, did you and Lenora know what was going on? Or at least Lenora, did you know what was going on? And you had to update your mama because your mama was in the hospital. This shit did happen as soon as she get out the hospital, all this shit. So basically the only person that's kind of been around other than you being in the hospital is Lenora. And her sister kind of going back and forth with her. They hanging. She knowing her actions, this and this. So Lenora, let's get her understanding because you're quiet. Did you know your sister's actions with her friends? Did you have to update your mama and kind of tell her, look, well, was this why you ran down to that hotel first with your friends? Because you went down there first, Lenora. Is this why you ran down there with your friends first? Because that shit went wrong. Something went wrong. Some shit that y'all have been probably doing here and now. Getting niggas out their money and, you know, tricking a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Did something go wrong? And you had to run down there to your sister aid after the fact. Like I say, if everybody don't know, Monifa know. When Monifa said, I told her mom and them everything. If you did, is that what you said? Is this why didn't nobody get on your ass? Because you probably did tell the truth. Hey, look, man, y'all know what's going on. Can't tell Kanika shit. She was finna make that little money, and she dipped off. Hey, blah, 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 woo, woo. And the shit happened like that. Couldn't find afterwards. I even went down there and tried to check the utility room, tried to shake the doorknob, because I know she was with the hotel people. Is that what it is? That's why they didn't whoop Monifa ass, because she told them the real. Is that why Kanika mama didn't look at none of them and instantly went at the hotel? Sued them all. Didn't say shit about Mike. Didn't say shit about no T.Y. Rowland. Didn't say shit about none of them. The next thing we heard was her going directly at the hotel. Did Monifa tell her that? Did she tell the truth? Because she sure didn't get her ass beat to this day. Not saying I want you to get your ass beat, Monifa. And I know you a fighter. But what I'm saying is, baby, y'all didn't tell the truth about something. So I'm not going to accept you're saying that Kanika just vanished or disappeared. I'm not going to accept that Teresa, y'all accepted that. I'm not going to accept that because something ain't right. Now, a lot of people look at this case from different places, different cities, all that shit, but I'm in the backyard. You ain't never finna tell me y'all ain't beat that ass. You ain't never finna tell me y'all didn't motherfucking rally up and tear this girl apart because she lied unless she told y'all. And you had to accept it as that. And you ain't want Kanika's name to go out bad or sad to the world or what was really going on. The hotel ain't want nobody to know that they trying to buy pussy. They doing this at their hotel. So they want to keep shit on the hush anyway. You don't want the world to know because for all that we know, everybody love KJ. We do love you. But you don't want the world to know the real. Is that what you live with? You know, is that what bother you? That all that kicking in and partying and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? Lead it on to your daughter being real active, getting a little bit of money. Didn't mind none of that because in 2017, best believe that back page was real. You know what I'm saying? These girls start selling. Hey, found out that little twat making some money. They start doing that shit heavily. You know what I'm saying? And look what it stemmed from. You got big sisters like Lenora. You feel me? That girl, you better get some money up out that nigga. You got motherfuckers like Teresa. Ain't nothing for free. Ain't nothing for free. You better get some money up out these niggas. Woo woo. Not saying that that's how they was, but you have households that's like that. So when these girls, they venture off into the world, that's the first thing on their mind. Shit, you finna pay me? You finna buy me this? You finna... Or, shit, how much money you got? So, you know, all I know is a lot of lying went on. A lot of unnecessary lying went on that was plain to see. If it was plain to see to us, y'all seen it too. You know, a lot of shit went on to the point where it wasn't understood. And it started with Monifa lying about how Kanika disappeared. That's it. That's it. That's who got to live with that. If Irene knows, she know on the back end because she was working there that it took place with some people from the hotel. The hotel has something to do with it. That's what she know. Like I say, when we looked at it, the end result was Teresa never said nothing to none of them. She instantly came at the hotel trying to sue them. So it was something that she knew off top. Whatever she heard in that courtroom that we didn't hear when they just went to court and she won, she heard it. She took it in. She already knew that they had something to do with it, possibly from Monifa. And she like, fuck it. Hey, I'm going to get this little money. At least I get her a headstone, put ourselves in a better position. You know what I'm saying? And do what I need to do with this money. I feel like I know. But you really don't know. Because it eats at you. Social media eat at you. You know what I'm saying? And you really don't know. You just went off like you know, because shit, you know the hotel didn't do nothing nice because your daughter ain't with you. So, yeah, yeah. That's what I was stuck with, you know? That's what I felt like. A lot of people feel different about this case, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people talk about it, you know, look at it in a different light. I don't knock nobody for how they feel, the work they put into this case or whatever the case may be, you know. But to sit up and pay attention to it coming from a nigga that come from this shit, man, y'all ain't finna play with me, man. You ain't finna get nothing over. You know what I'm saying? You ain't finna get nothing over on nobody like that, you know. So, you know, like I say, I got love for Teresa because, you know, I hate that she grieving. I hate that she a mother that lost her child. But, hey, you got to answer to things, man, when you ain't keeping it solid with situations. Now, I bet you any amount of money, Kanika wouldn't have gave a fuck about y'all telling the real. Y'all could have told the real and y'all could have did a whole movie behind this shit. You know what I'm saying? Raising awareness and everything. You know? Y'all could have did big things, you know what I'm saying, and put this shit on the platform, raising awareness. But y'all didn't, you know. Y'all took it another route. And man, you seeing the end result of this shit. You know what I'm saying? You seeing the end result of it. I think you would have been better off not taking the money and really looking for justice as far as getting their ass, getting some type of conviction out of something, get somebody locked the fuck up and exposing Crown Plaza to the point where, baby, you would have owned that motherfucker. That probably would have put a stain on Crown Plaza so bad that all the Crown Plazas that's in damn near every state would have just, you know, because the name would have been tarnished because it shows that they're real sinister. Your daughter died. They did some sinister shit that they didn't have to do. So to turn around and sit back and look at it how you went about it, man, you just went about it wrong, baby. That's all. But I don't fault you. I don't knock you, because you only human. You know what I'm saying? But you went about it wrong. You know. And for people that sit back and say, I wouldn't have never, ooh, stop lying. Your ass, I ain't saying she was piss poor broke, but goddamn it, hey, life hard. You feel me? You ain't finna look up and you living regular degular to turn around and you looking at the fact that you finna look at 10 milli. You know what I'm saying? Or around, or some millions. Stop it. You got some that won't and you got some that will. Shit. That's all it is. But, you know, with her saying certain things on this case and, you know, giving us a little insight of what possibly happened in the courtroom, and that's saying that Kanika ran out the back door of the hotel, hey, that was enough for me to know that she was brought back in that motherfucker. Carried back in there. And they threw her shoe in there also. You know what I'm saying? And whatever little belongings fell out of her pocket during the scuffle, like a lip gloss and all that different shit, threw that shit in there too. Throw all that shit in there. You know? So when she made that statement that her daughter made it out that back door, I believe that. Because on the video, we see her walking through to that back, and she ain't look shit like she did when they showed them pictures of her in that freezer. Chest all exposed. She was flipped over on her face. Then they turned her around. Lip looked like it was bleeding. Teeth looked like it was chipped. You know what I'm saying? Hair everywhere. Come on, bro. Body had red marks on it. She was scuffling with a motherfucker. For real. What you say, Uncle G say that she got too comfortable with being on social media. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, she got comfortable. She got comfortable being on social media. Once that money got involved, you know, you felt like you're getting pretty and you got your body done, you're looking good, got your teeth looking good, getting your hair done, you're able to be styling and profiling. Now they on social media. You know what I'm saying? Now you're on social media. You know, like I say, that money don't last forever unless you do something with it. You know, but one thing that lasts forever, or for what we know, gonna keep lasting, this social media shit, these stories that be talked about. See, when that money fade out, these videos still gonna stand, baby. This social media shit still gonna stand. That shit ain't gonna never go nowhere. If you not paying attention, it's been over 8 years and people still talking about your daughter. That shit'll never stop. That's gonna go down in history because we never got a clear understanding. So that's gonna go down in history. And it's always gonna be talked about unless somebody put the nail in the coffin and tell what happened. Other than that, that shit, it's always gonna be a situation. Monifa, if you listening, baby, you always gonna get blamed. You're always gonna get blamed because you was the last person with her, baby, and you said she vanished like a ghost. Don't make sense. Mm-mm. So these are things you gotta live with, unless you decide to sit back and tell what really happened. It ain't even about tarnishing her name. It ain't about none of that. Tell what really happened to make it make sense. You know, we grown. Shit. Can't nobody knock nobody for nothing. You know what I'm saying? We grown. Shit, I'd rather have made some money than did it for free. Shit. But other than that, shit, tell what the play really was. What's so crazy is, whoever tell what the play really was, that's going to be the money right there for them. That's going to be the shit that they're going to pay you to talk about on the interviews. That's the shit that they're going to possibly, when they talk about this, they make a real movie on it. Hey, you know what I'm saying? You know the real. Man, look. I was looking at, it's a guy. I don't know if y'all been seeing it, because it's ever since this nigga shit, boy, this shit been getting crazy. So it's a guy that just came out, and I don't know what type of show this is, but it's like a little homicide show or whatever. He basically saying that he don't want to say who the person is, but this person worked that night at the hotel. Let me go to it. Hey, I want y'all to look at this, right? I'm finna put y'all on to this dude. Let me go to it real quick. This shit crazy. I'm gonna end this shit too in a minute because I want Rico to come up here. I got to see what's going on with him because he was just on me. He wanted to come up here, but let me go to this real quick. And while we taking this intermission, I want y'all to turn to this and look at this shit. Trust me, y'all gonna trip out. Where is it at? Okay, it's right here. The name of it is called Unseen Horrors. Unseen Horrors. The name of that's the name of the channel, Unseen Horrors. He just dropped this video 1 day ago. It's called I Worked at the Hotel the Night Kanika Jenkins Wasn't. This is where, you know what I'm saying? This is what it say. Let me see if I get the full name of it. Let me see if I get the full name of it real quick. I gotta play it so y'all can pull it up the right way. But I want y'all to look at this real quick, because after y'all look at this and y'all notice that I'm back live, y'all gonna trip out. But it's called, he say, I worked at the hotel the night Kanika Jenkins wasn't alone, right? And it's on the channel from a guy called Unseen Horrors. Pull that shit up and look at that real quick. Gonna trip y'all out. And I'm gonna take a brief intermission. I'll be back. I gotta find out where Rico at, see what's going on, make sure my partner's straight. Other than that, y'all check that out real quick. Hey, and we gonna get back to this Brazy After Dark shit. You feel me?